Promotional consideration paid for by the following.
Hello and welcome once again. You are the Cheap Shot Nation and I am your host Luke. I'm going to take you through all of the action and my thoughts on said action for Fastlane 2021. Took place in Tropicana Field and it was on the 21st of March 2021. We're very much on the road to WrestleMania, 3 weeks away now. We should have been there, I should have been there, could have been doing these videos live from the venue. They should have been in LA, well he's now in Florida. Hard times, man, hard times. Speaking of hard times, there's also an NWA pay-per-view as well. I haven't managed to get around to watching that just yet, but I will try and do a review of that. But I'm really looking forward to that one. But we're going to go straight into the action for Fastlane 2021. So we start off with the pre-show, which was for the United States Championship. It was a riddle because, you know, WWE don't like two named wrestlers. But he was going against Mustafa Ali, previously Mustafa Ali. Worked that one out. Obviously he had all of his goons around ringside, Retribution, and there was something that happened during the pre-show that probably changes the game a little bit. I don't know what they're going to do now, but we'll talk about that in just a second. But Riddle would retain his championship, and it was actually a pretty damn good match for a pre-show match. Something that I tend to do now, so I can't stay up to watch things. I'm watching WrestleMania live though, so don't worry about that one. I tend to watch them the day after, so I do watch the pre-show and then watch the main show. This match I actually really enjoyed. These two have a lot of chemistry, their styles complement each other. Don't particularly like either of them or either of the characters, but I can appreciate they're really top-notch athletes and humongous talents. So it's a shame that they're not being used a little bit better than they should be, considering Ali was supposed to be in the Elimination Chamber a couple of years ago when Kofi Kingston took his place and won the WWE Championship. Yeah, that did actually happen. It's not just a figment of your imagination. But, like I say, Riddle would retain with the Fisherman's Buster and the Bro Derek from the second group to Ali and retains the US Championship. After the match, all of Retribution beats up on Mustafa Ali. So what's happening to Retribution? I don't know. Maybe they'll get rid of the stupid names and actually let them be wrestlers and take the masks off and all that kind of stuff. Because, you know, the Retribution was supposed to be a big thing and it never actually was. So maybe it's just time to get them gone and rethink. I'm going to give this one 3 cheap shots out of 5. It was a really, really good match and a great way to kick off proceedings. Join us for the main part of the show. So we kick off the main card with a championship match. It is the Women's Tag Team Championship. It is, of course, Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax along with Reginald against Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair, the two women there going for the championship at WrestleMania. Of course, Belair winning the Women's Royal Rumble. This match was okay. It just shows that they're really struggling for what to do with the women's division, considering there was the tag team champions and the SmackDown Women's champion in one match. But there was a little bit of dissension between the challenger and the champion going into WrestleMania, with Sasha Banks slapping Bianca Belair, a good one, slapping the taste out of her mouth after the match. But it would be the tag team champions to retain the championship after that dissension between the challengers, and Sasha Banks hits the most devastating move in professional wrestling today, the surprise roll-up for the win. Now, I did have Sasha Banks taking the pin, or taking the loss. I think I put it as a submission, but I fully expected it to be the other way with Bianca Belair sort of turning on Sasha Banks. But it makes me wonder now why they turned Sasha Banks face and the whole Bayley thing happened. Because, you know, it just seems like a bit of a waste now. I mean, it was a good payoff, but didn't last very long, did it? But as far as this match goes, there was a little bit of interference from Reginald. Again, I don't really keep up with the weekly shows because I just simply don't have time or don't have access to them because they're not on the network in the UK. But I do try and keep up with little bits and bobs. So I didn't even know that Reginald had gone over to Raw to be with the Women's Tag Team Champions. I don't think they need Reginald. I just think they're lost for what to do with him now. But yeah, that little bit of interference and the match itself was okay. I mean, you've got 4 decent workers doing the thing. I like Baszler and Nia Jax as a tag team. They sort of complement each other and protect each other. But I do think, and I've said this in videos before, I do think that Baszler needs to be a singles competitor going for the main Women's Championship on either SmackDown or Raw. Or maybe we'll get that in the Superstar Shake-Up. Who knows what is going to happen going towards WrestleMania and thereafter. Time will tell. But until then, I'm going to give this one 2 cheap shots out of 5. Perfectly serviceable match, but for me, not very entertaining, and it just sort of lacked a lot of things, and could have been 2 different contenders this time, and perhaps Sasha Banks could have been defending her championship. Now, I understand that they've got to get the ladies in because otherwise it would just be a stacked men's card, which, you know, is not the done thing these days, but yeah, just don't know where to go with this one. Obviously, I'm really looking forward to the Belair Banks match at WrestleMania. Not sure what they're going to have in store for for Nia Jax and Baszler, 70 Bs in this one. But yeah, time will tell. Time will tell. Again, not great, not bad, just middling. We get a brief interlude next where we get told that Shane had injured his knee during training and was currently in with the doctors, having ice put on his injured knee before his match with Braun Strowman. Elias promptly arrives with huge Jackman. Oh dear. Anyway, yeah, Elias promptly arrives and talks to Shane. He says, I've got an idea. Listen to me. I knew exactly what was going to happen before it happened, and I'm sure all you guys did as well, but I won't spoil the surprise. We go on to the next match now, which is the Intercontinental Championship. It is Apollo Crews, who has now gone full-on Nigerian. I'm really sorry for my bad accent there. If I've offended anybody, please leave a comment down below and click the like button and subscribe. I'm kidding. Yeah, he's gone full-on Nigerian, gone back to his roots, and he's got a little scarf and his tie. I do like his new ring gear. I think that's cool. And they've also given him his full name back, because he went from Apollo Crews to Apollo, and now he's Apollo Crews. Now, one thing I do really want to do is just walk around a supermarket as suggested by my good friend, the big boss Tom Priest, shouting, Apollo! Just on the bucket list. Along with riding Space Mountain, shouting woo, and oldest ride, longest line. Yeah, it's just one of those weird things that wrestling fans like. Maybe it's just me, I don't know. Answer my postcard. Anyway, Apollo Crews versus Big E. There's no Langston in there anymore, it's just Big E, who is the current Intercontinental Champion. and doing quite well for himself as a singles competitor. Has quite the rivalry with Apollo Crews. Now, I'm really looking forward to Apollo Crews' turn, because that means his old t-shirt will be on WWE's shop, Euroshop, and shop.com for a cheaper price. I really do like that old Apollo 13 sort of NASA style t-shirt, so I might just go and pick it up. Anyway, yeah, again, really a decent match. I've given this like a middling score of 2.5 cheap shots out of 5. Because the match itself was good. It was two, muscular guys beating each other up, and it looked nasty all the way through. They looked like they were really putting everything into it, and they'd really sort of thought about the match and the structure of it and all that kind of stuff, and thought about the storyline that it's being told. So they've gone from friends to bitter enemies, and that's usually how things work in wrestling anyway. But the match itself was actually I quite enjoyed it for what it was. I like both of these guys, so really did enjoy it. But the finish did bother me a little bit, because I think it was a bit of a screwy finish, which is why I've taken up half a cheap shot. Basically, Apollo Crews got the sort of crucifix type pin on Big E. Big E rolled through. I can't say that Apollo Crews' shoulders were on the mat, but the referee counted and pointed to Big E as the winner. So, yeah, screwy finish. I'm going to give it 2.5 cheap shots out of 5, like I said earlier. It was good. Just that screwy finish sort of messed up a little bit. I think they probably could have fought back out of it and just gone on the fly and finished it off properly. But apart from that, pretty damn good. Big E is your winner in this one and retains the Intercontinental Championship. So we go on to the next match, and as predicted, Shane puts Elias in his place for the match against Braun Strowman. I fully expected this to be a 2-on-1 handicap match, but Jackson Riker, that's the one. Previously Forgotten Sons, but I've forgotten about them, so there you go. And Elias against Braun, but it was just Elias against Braun, and of course this was just a straight up squash match. Power slam pin on Elias to win this one, straight up squash. Braun wins and moves on to WrestleMania, where you're going to get that sort of Big Show Shane feel in a match, and it's going to be some sort of speciality match. It's not going to be a straight out match, probably going to be a last man standing, just so Shane can jump off something, probably off the big boat that they have down in Florida for for Tampa Bay, where WrestleMania is, and the tickets are on sale now. And it's making me feel pretty upset, actually, because I should have been there. It should have been me, damn it. No, I've already done that. Anyway, because of this being a not a screwy finish, just a straight up squash match, it was really entertaining, don't get me wrong. But I really like Elias. I wish they would do something different with him. Well, Braun Strowman squashes him, gives him the power slam. I'm going to give this one cheap shot out of 5. I don't think he deserved any more, because it was just a cut and paste squash match for Braun Strowman to push him on to WrestleMania going against Shane. So, fun, but not the best. I want to take over Shane's winner or something like that. That would be fun. We next get the match that everyone was talking about on social media, that is why I had to avoid social media for watching the pay-per-view. It is the no-holds-barred match between Sheamus and Drew McIntyre. This feud has not just been going on for a couple of months or a couple of weeks. This feud has been going on for 20 years. These two came up in the business together. Drew McIntyre came into the WWE first. They were both on Florida Championship Wrestling. Drew McIntyre got future endeavours. Sheamus came into the forefront and became a huge name beating down the Ryan in, 12 seconds at WrestleMania? Crazy. And now we've come to this. Drew McIntyre has been on a tear for the last 12 months. title due to Miz cashing in his Money in the Bank, which, again, by the way, I was fine with Drew McIntyre going through the whole chamber and defending his championship, so he's still like a badass doing that. But Drew McIntyre is one that I've seen him live. I haven't seen Sheamus. I have seen Sheamus live, but Drew McIntyre saw it at British Union show, so you can really get the idea of how humongous this guy actually is. He's over 6'5". He's going down. He's just raw. And he was going to be a big show when we saw him in Nottingham, and it was crazy. Really, really good. A talent, again, you mentioned this Ricochet, a talent that is not being used properly, or at all, in fact. So you can guarantee that he will go in the endeavours negotiating his release as soon as his time comes. Although he's going out into Carlo at the moment, so you never know. Well, this match was absolutely brutal. This match was just, it was insane. It was exactly what a middle star match should be. With kendo sticks, chairs, these guys tore each other's bodies apart. Literally, they were bleeding things from cane shots, and they did not pull their punches when throwing those canes. There was tables involved, there was chairs involved, like I say, kendo sticks. At one point, they pretty much knocked out the Thunderdome, and they fought through the crowd. Much like Roman Reigns and Kevin Owens did not long ago in Royal Rumble. Well, this one just had that big fire feel about it again. Another main event match that's not a main event. So, yeah, really, this should have been, should have been something perhaps on WrestleMania for a title. And just, Drew McIntyre kicking ass. But in your case, you're going to go against Owens. I wonder if you got more screaming at WrestleMania side rather than pointing at it. Here's a question. If you know the answer, leave it in the comment section down below the video. Because I don't know. Or maybe it's to the side of the video, but I think it's to the left-hand side. As you look at it. The right-hand side. The left-hand side. Well, yeah, this match was great. Wasn't it? Every single moment. This is exactly, when they bring out the hardcore matches, this is exactly what they should be. And the hardcore matches in WWE should be few and far between, but when they do happen, should feel epic. So, get rid of the Extreme Rules pay-per-view and have epic matches every so often. Go back to the older formula where you only brought out a Hell in a Cell to finish the feud. That kind of thing. So that's my thoughts on it. This match, loved it from start to finish. Absolutely fantastic. Drew McIntyre hits a future shot DDT on the half of the broken table that Sheamus had put him through, and then hit the Claymore kick for the win. Drew McIntyre powers up, screams on into WrestleMania to face the champion. Roman Reigns there, it's not actually. It's Bobby Lashley. Again, I'm okay with that, but it's by absence in this pay-per-view actually. Bobby Lashley. There's no WWE title match, but this one could have been no one defense match. It would have just had that extra fizz, but like I say, I'm going to give this one 4 cheap shots out of 5 because it was down to perfect, and I really, really enjoyed it. One of those matches that you can go back and enjoy. Feel like Raven King and Big Show back from WrestleMania 17, and always have a smile on your face knowing that it can happen very often, but when it does, it's so much. So the next match is a rarity in mainstream wrestling, especially WWE. It is Wreview versus Alexa Bliss in a mixed gender exactly how the Undertaker would have done it back in the day. Sticks his hand out through the cameras, fire shoots out from the cameras, and the Fiend tries to grab that door. Would be that the Fiend would get out from his hole or from under the ring, and Alexa Bliss would continue to torment Randy Orton. There wasn't much of a match going on here, even if he swore on giving it. But the Fiend debuts again with a new look, mask and new attire. And contrary to my wrestling chat regarding the most often brown eggs as well, a lot of people don't like the Fiend's new look. I am in the minority with that one. I quite like the Fiend's new look. I think it just adds something for the storyline here. I don't expect it to last very long, but it does further that storyline of Randy Orton turning the Fiend and coming back as like a zombie character thing, and literally like the Yeti, but without language and having a really weird name considering the back of the band. Anyway, a little bit like that, only a lot cooler. I think I really like the new one. Looking forward to see where this goes. Will we see Bray Wyatt back on the Firefly Funhouse? And will it settle for what I thought was going to be another Firefly Funhouse match? But how are they going to do that to the WrestleMania where they're now selling tickets? They've got so many, but they are actually selling tickets for people to watch the show for the first time in a year. I want to know actually been there, I've got to back not, but there's plenty of stuff coming to the channel along with the sort of podcast prediction with Squared Circle Jobbers and Boys originally. So watch this space for all those things. But, so we get that. Randy Orton walks into a Sister Abigail and the match finishes. The only winner in this match was clearly Randy Orton as Alexa Bliss straddled him to get the pin. Damn Randy Orton. Damn. As Ron Simmons would say. Going to give this 1 or 2 shot out of 5. Now he's being very generous. And that's just for the debut of the new look of the Fiend. Really, good payoff for a story. Obviously, it's not quite yet finished. Randy Orton's still got the black stuff. I was expecting Papa Shango to appear with his voodoo stuff, but he didn't, and I'm gutted about that, to be honest. Story purposes, I've got to say, like I said, I love the new look of the Fiend. So let me know what you thought of the new look of the Fiend. Again, in the comment section, we'll have YouTube works now, people. Let me know. We now move on to the main event. It is the Universal Championship match between Roman Reigns and the number 1 contender Daniel Bryan, going for the storyline you're never good enough and you should never be in a title match. Now, Edge was the special guest enforcer in this match. Didn't really enforce anything. We just saw him get himself into the match for the finish, which, yeah, I'm in agreement with a lot of people here. I don't think you need to. I think if I was looking forward to Roman Reigns versus Edge in a one-on-one contest, but it's looking ever so more likely that it's going to be a triple threat. And the only reason for that is that Edge can win the championship whilst pinning or submitting Daniel Bryan, and Roman Reigns is protected. Roman Reigns has been a very good champion while he's been back. So, yes, it is time for a change of champion. I wish this one was just left well alone and just kept in one-on-one. I'm looking forward to it. As much as I like Daniel Bryan, I think he probably would be better in a Roman Park match. This is where, winning back match will come in. You know, WrestleMania around 2 nights, but you've got big, winning back. So you can't really do a winning back match at WrestleMania. Pretty good. But winning back now is quite close to WrestleMania, so yeah, that's the thing. Ref bump to finish which the enforcer gets in the ring to replace the referee, and count in, but doesn't get in, and then Edge hits down, Uso comes down, then Uso kicks Edge and Daniel Bryan in the rush, and Edge snaps, so he goes against the chair, he hits Jey Uso, he hits Daniel Bryan, and he hits Roman Reigns. Reigns taps out to Daniel Bryan, but Edge doesn't see it, and that's where the chair comes in for Daniel Bryan, because Edge smashes the chair under Daniel Bryan and causes him to lose the match. Edge chooses, let's say, to hit Bryan instead of Roman Reigns, and Reigns is the challenger to mercilessly and mercifully victory and retain his championship. Like I say, I don't see why Edge needs to be down in the title this week. Really don't. But that's what we've got planned up with the boys, the trumps with these things. Really good match. But if you're not going to let Daniel Bryan win the championship, there's no reason to put him. You might as well let Edge hit Roman Reigns and become the legitimate world champion. All you're doing then is giving Roman Reigns the storyline whereby I was never hit, I won my rematch and all that kind of jazz. So I know where to go with it. There's a thing to do. So, but yeah, it kind of took away from that. It's going to be a little bit higher, and Edge not being interjected into the match. Forcefully, we'll give this one all cheap shots out of 5. Say not sure what Edge was there for, and it looks like it's going to set up for a triple threat match for the Universal Championship at WrestleMania, which normally I'd look for if I wasn't so excited and looking forward to Roman Reigns versus Edge. It's a big comeback now of the person Daniel Bryan would be better going against someone who's up and coming. So giving them a really good match from the main event. But the match itself is so good, like I said, it's got half a cheap cut off first of all the injection of Edge unnecessarily. And so that is everything that happened in Fastlane on the 23rd of March 2021, and we're well and truly on our way to WrestleMania. We have a retro review coming up for WrestleMania 17, which is why I mentioned it so many times. Coming up on the 1st of April, it's been 20 years since the release of the great pay-per-view, one of my favourites. Check it out. Also got the very last episode of the Nitro, and also the Nitro Champions coming on as well, and retro reviews, and of course we're going through the rest of the year with the WWE as well. There will be a WrestleMania review, an NXT review. There's a lot of work for me to do over April. Hopefully I'm not in the off. Don't get NXT until the back, so I can actually watch NXT and do a review on it. So that is fully what I plan to do. If you enjoyed the video, let me know in the comment section, like and subscribe and do all that kind of stuff. You have been watching Cheap Shot Entertainment. You are the Cheap Shot Nation. I've been your host, Luke, and I will see you for WrestleMania 37 on April the 10th and 11th. And then just a little bit after the review. It's going to be a long one. We get it live in the UK, it's going to be about 12 o'clock before it even starts. So don't expect it to come. But yeah, keep enjoying the videos, keep subscribing. We're nearly 1,000 subscribers, something that I never thought I'd say when I started this channel. So thank you to you guys for that.
Hiya.